A movie so far up its own ass it doesn't even realize it's in a dumpster fire. Alright, it's a solo review again, so hopefully this one will be short. I don't know if it's gonna be though, because goddamn, this movie is fucking shitballs. Oh my god. So pretentious, obnoxious, annoying. Oh my god. I mean, I knew it was gonna be pretentious from the trailers, but I had no idea the level of bullshit they were gonna throw at me. And then it ends with this cookie cutter Pinterest quote board bullshit. Oh my god. Wasn't very good. So this is life itself. It sucks. It's really bad. My only saving grace was, like, I was the only one in the back of the theater, so I was kind of fucking around my phone. I was live tweeting it, because I just needed something to get me through this, because goddamn, this was so bad. This was really, really bad, and I feel a little bad for shitting on it, because you can tell there's a lot of good intentions behind it, but oh my god, and especially the director's response to the criticism of this movie did not help his case going into this. Because I think he blamed it all on white stuffy critics who I think what he said was, and I quote, people who are just afraid to feel emotion. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, I don't feel bad anymore. Fuck you, you pretentious hack. Oh, God. Now, I know this is, I don't know, I'm not too familiar with this guy's work. I know he's only directed, like, one other feature film. And he's written a bunch of stuff. But man, this movie is so self-important. And so this means something. This is so, we're being so goddamn deep right now. And we're being so philosophical. And we're being so philosophical and so deep and so meaningful, we don't trust the audience to figure out the blatant message for themselves. So we're going to explain every fucking little thing. In case you weren't aware of what's happening, we're gonna explain every little fucking thing, the entire fucking movie! I'm doing it again. Deep breaths, Michael, deep breaths. We'll get through this. Okay. Oh, and then it turns into a fucking pilot for a shitty telenovela halfway through, and then it fucking stays there with, like, no apparent point. I mean, and you know exactly where it's going, so you're just kind of waiting for it to get to that point, and then when it finally gets there, it ends! So let me backtrack. So, for those who don't know what this movie is, Life itself is a movie that's supposed to be about life itself, and it's supposed to be how the meaning of love and relationships and blah 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 blah. And then it opens up with Oscar. No, I take it back. The opening of this movie is fucking bizarre because it opens up with Samuel L. Jackson doing narration, and this movie's clearly trying to rip off the chapter format from Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. It does not hide this fact. They make a ton of Pulp Fiction references throughout the movie, so they wear their influence on their sleeve, which I guess they try to put in there, make it seem like it's okay, they're ripping it off. But anyway, so it starts with Samuel L. Jackson narrating the sequence in a very, like, supposed to be clever kind of meta way, in that he's talking about, like, now this story has a protagonist. No, not a protagonist, a hero. A dashing, like, handsome man. But this hero is troubled. It's like someone just gave him the script and told him to read, like, the description notes. That's exactly what he's doing. I'm not even exaggerating. That's the way it's set up. And then the character talks, but Sam Jackson, for all, like, 5 minutes in this movie, doesn't stop talking the entire 5 minutes he's in this movie, which you think wouldn't be a bad thing, but the script is so obnoxious and in your face, and it's trying so hard to be funny, and just sort of like, hey, we got Sam Jackson, here's all this fucking Sam Jackson to you motherfuckers. This movie made me very angry. At least the first half did. The second half was better, but it's still got a shit ton of problems, and we'll get to that. But goddamn, this first half was so fucking insufferable. A majority of my rant is going to be on this part. Once Antonio Banderas gets there, it shows up, it's better. It's still not good. Not even, like, tolerable, but it's better. Mostly because Antonio Banderas is charming. That whole plotline never doesn't make any goddamn sense. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, so so we have this big long sequence of Sam Jackson doing unfunny meta jokes, talking about like, yeah, it's a tight shot. I said a tight shot, motherfucker. Tighten that shot up. Again, that's almost a direct quote. That's the kind of humor we're going for. And then when the guy's talking about his problems to a therapist, Sam Jackson just keeps going. He keeps like, yeah, I hear you. Mm-hmm. Totally. Show your pain. I want to hear your pain. I'm not exaggerating most of this. This is almost verbatim what he fucking says. And it doesn't stop until Sam Jackson actually just shows up, but he's still narrating for some fucking reason. And then it cuts to Oscar Isaac. Apparently the whole thing was a screenplay he was writing as a therapeutic device. But he's also... And then another narrator comes in to narrate this section, not nearly as obnoxious, but still pretty fucking obnoxious, because for some reason, for a director who thinks his work is so goddamn brilliant, it doesn't seem to understand one of the basic rules of filmmaking, which is show, don't tell. You don't need to tell me Oscar Isaac is a troubled man. I can fucking see it. I'm realizing how angry this made me. Fucking hell. How do you make Oscar Isaac unlikable? It's Oscar Isaac. I even liked him in X-Men Apocalypse. And that movie wasn't very good, but I liked him in it. I thought he was underrated. But fucking hell, they make him instant likable as goddamn Ah! No. This is bad for my blood pressure. I can't do this today. No. So Oscar Isaac shows up. And he's in a coffee shop. And then the narration comes in and just says, and this is so-and-so. I don't remember his name. So-and-so is a troubled man. He is troubled since his wife left him such and such a time ago. And such happened. He has not been able to cope since. Now, again, the movie is telling all of this when there's no reason it needs to. Now, you know why they're doing it, especially as the movie goes on. The movie makes no effort to hide what it's doing. It pretty much shoves in your face what it's doing, in case you're not smart enough to figure it out. This movie thinks you're really dumb, and kind of assumes you've never seen a YouTube motivational video before, or heard any motivational things, period. Because as much as the movie acts like it has something to say, it doesn't have anything new to say. It's about as deep as Moulin Rouge. Another debatably self-important movie. That one had probably a bit more self-awareness about it. So he goes to a therapist. So Oscar Isaac goes to a therapist. This movie really wiped me out more than I thought it did, the more I'm talking about it. And we keep getting random flashbacks to Oscar Isaac and his wife, played by Olivia Wilde, who I also like. You know, I also think is an underrated actress, who doesn't do nearly enough good movies. And in any other movie, even like Love Actually, if any guy acted the way Oscar Isaac does towards Olivia Wilde's character, he'd be fucking creepy. Like, he is literally insane. Especially since they make it clear that after what happened to his wife happened, by the way, if you can't figure out what really happened to his wife, I can't help you, because it's pretty fucking obvious. I'm just gonna spoil it. You're not gonna see it. The wife dies. It turns out the wife was dead the whole time, but Oscar Isaac just went insane instead of already was insane, but refuses to accept that she's dead, because they even say in the movie, like, his love towards her bordered on like a stalker. And I'm always like, well, it's a good thing she liked him back, because otherwise he would be a fucking stalker, and he'd be the villain of the movie. Because he's fucking creepy, the way he obsessed, the way he fawns, the way he manipulates, the way he does all this horrible shit. And it's played up as this big, passionate, romantic thing. And it's like, no, this guy's a fucking monster in the making. And he kind of was at the end. No, not the end. His storyline's done by the first, 30 minutes of the movie. Thank God. Because I've never seen an Oscar Isaac movie where he was this intolerable. And including Annihilation in that. Although he didn't really do much in that movie. Annihilation, that's a whole other topic altogether. Because he's saying things like the very first scene him and Olivia Wilde have together. Well, the second scene, I take that back. This movie also has a weird obsession with Bob Dylan, and I'm sure that's metaphorical in some way if I gave a shit if I think about it. I mean, again, they pretty much spell it out for you anyway with the whole, what's one song they pick in particular? Let You Be My Love, whatever. They kind of make that the whole theme of the movie, and in case I wasn't clear, the narrator directly tells you. And the second scene, you see them together, Olivia Wilde just goes like, so when are you gonna ask me out? And then Oscar Isaac says, wait for the right moment. And as she's walking away, he goes like, because I know the minute I ask, everything's gonna change, and I'm not gonna date anyone else. I'm not gonna be with anyone else. This is the most important moment of my life, and I just want to make sure that I do it right. I'm just kind of like, dude, you're giving off some creep vibes. Do not like. This is a gigantic red flag. Obsession over your partner like this is not healthy. And I'm like, this is a horrible cliche like in the 90s that I hated. It is not healthy. Wait a minute, it still hasn't really gone away. I mean, look at Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey. Apparently people still think that's romantic. And thank God most people are smart enough to realize that, but there's still a subject that think this is romantic. No, it is not. It is not healthy. Obsessing with your partner is not good. At least not to this insane stalkerish. If the relationship kept going, he probably would have killed her at some point. I'm just saying it right now. It's clinically insane, his amount of obsession over this woman. And it does not improve as the movie goes on. So the movie, and then he goes through this series of pretentious transitions and supposedly deep metaphorical and philosophical arguments about how life itself. No, that's Olivia Wilde's thesis in college, and there's a reason it failed. Said life itself is an unreliable narrator, and it talks a lot about how unreliable narrators are just a trick in cinema and on books and narration and all that stuff. But by practically shoving your face you get it? Because Oscar Isaac in this scenario is an unreliable narrator. You get it? The person narrating the story is an unreliable narrator. The person telling the entire second half of the movie is an unreliable narrator. Do you get it? Because the unreliable narrator is a metaphor for life itself. Do you get it? Do you have the mental capacity to get it? Is it too much for you? Do we need to stop and explain it all to you? Let me stop and explain it all to you, because I really think you're that stupid. Fuck, I hate this movie. Just felt like it insulted my intelligence, and that's one reason I'm really pissed. I feel so talked down to. I think that's what pisses me off more than anything else. I feel so absurdly talked down to by the dialogue and the plots and the themes and the symbolism. It's so painful. It's so in your face. It does not trust you for a second. And it thinks it's saying something so important. What it really boils down to is love is the key to all problems. That's more or less what the moral is. Love is the key to all problems. Everything's going to be fine in the end as long as you have love. You can go through our problems at the end as long as you have love at some point. Love is the most important key of all time. Not self-care, not proper mental health, not really seek... It's the Care Bear logic of pretentious philosophical movies. Love fixes everything. All you need is love, blah, 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 blah. I feel really defeated right now. I don't know why. God damn, this movie took a lot out of me. So after 30 solid minutes of these pretentious transitions, of these pretentious flashback sequences where Oscar Isaac in his older stage comes in and say like, wow, look at how young I was at that point. Do you see this therapist lady? Who also comes into the same scene. And it's practically saying, look how creative we are, look how artsy we are. We're such artistic filmmakers. My God, just give us all the Oscars. Now, if we're gonna be fair in this one, this movie still doesn't hold a fucking candle to Collateral Beauty, which is a movie that can go fuck itself. This one's close, but it's not quite that level of me feeling insulted walking out of it. So anyway, this goes on for a little while, like 20, 30 minutes. Then the therapist forces Oscar Isaac to face the fact that his wife died, and he shoots himself on the spot. Great, that's 30 minutes of my life and I'm not getting back. But it turns out that Olivia Wilde, who was pregnant with their child when she died, the baby survived. And she grows up to be that girl from Ready Player One. And lives with her grandfather, who was the only character I liked, and he's barely in the movie. Because, God forbid, we go off to the origin story of Rodrigo. I'll get to that in a second. So in this feature, Olivia Wilde's daughter is this ultra punk lady who works in who sings in a metal band, and ends up having this really pretentious dream on a bus stop bench, and that's it for her story. Keep in mind, she's only been on screen for like 5-10 minutes, where you just kind of assume the movie's gonna follow her for a while, and maybe like they'll have a storyline between her and her grandfather, maybe how they kind of reconnect, or maybe how she realizes she needs to unfuck her life a bit because she's like kind of deliberately messing it up. I fucking forgot about this bullshit. Okay, there is one scene in this movie that I can go fuck off, and I forgot about it because I repressed my memory, but now it's back, so I'm gonna talk about it because fuck this scene. Okay. Sorry. So, after Olivia Wilde dies, they get this long sequence of basically how her daughter's life sucks for a while. After, excuse me. Pardon me. After that, because then that dies, and then her grandma dies, and then their dog dies, and there's this really pretentious it is the height of how absurd and pretentious and just it is everything that is wrong with this movie in like 4 short minutes, or like probably less. It felt like fucking forever, where it shows like the little girl, like she's 8 years old, she's laying on the bed, her grandfather comes in. And she says, and he just asks, are you doing okay? And then the daughter launches into this long, pretentious speech about death. And I feel like this death will scar me. I feel like his death will scar me forever. And I just don't know how I'm going to be able to cover that. It's told in a way like that no kid would ever say, especially at 8. I've known some 8-year-olds. I have never met one that would go on this level tirade. And then the movie, I guess thinking it's smart, goes, well, that's not what she really said, but if her heart could speak and her brain was smart enough, this is what she would say to try to convey her pain and anguish. Fuck off. And as if to make it even worse, the monologue continues with the kid going like, I just want what everyone wants. I want to find my grain of happiness, but now that my life's filled with this trauma and pain, I fear that that grain will be seeping away like sands in the wind, or something like that. Something incredibly pompous. And then the movie goes, but that's not what she really said. Yuck, yuck. And I'm just like, dude, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Lights, for dropping in that exact moment. Fuck you, you fucking horseshit, cocksucking bullshit. I said shit twice in that sentence. I'm not proud of that. But fuck that scene. That scene really pissed me off. Like, more than any other scene. More than any of Oscar Isaac's obnoxious shenanigans. More than the dumb, obsessive, creepy declarations of love this movie has. more than any of that. That is the scene that pissed me off the most, because it is it is projecting a director's not like just ridiculous views on life and what kids go through and actual tragedy, and it's making all these assumptions how kids process it, and it's shoving it down this kid's throat. It does not know what it's talking about. Fuck you. Now these Asian families walking by and they're staring at me, wondering what the hell was this single guy is doing yelling in his car. Oh God, I hated that scene. I'm okay. So anyway, back to the park bench. Or the bus stop bench. Just as she's crying, the movie decides to cut to a flashback of the part where Olivia Wilde died, where she was hit by a bus, and there was this lone boy sitting at the end of the window, and then the movie decides, hey, you know what would be more interesting than having this movie go where you already know it's going and letting that develop into something that might actually be sincere and well thought out and actually deal with coping and moving on and becoming a better person. Let's give a gigantic, almost hour-long origin story to that one kid on the bus that was there for 5 seconds. If that wasn't your first thought, then you clearly weren't involved in making this movie, because that's what the movie does. This movie spends another 45 to an hour amount of screen time away from the family and the characters, as the movie's been hyping up to this point. As obnoxious as they were, this is clearly the movie's building up to this girl's life and how it grows based on tragedy. That's what the movie's going for. We drop all of that to get a 45 telenovela pilot episode of the origin of Rodrigo, where it's just all of a sudden it's in Spain, I think, and Antonio Banderas runs this like olive farm or whatever you call it, and he invites this guy named Javier. Was it Javier? Yeah, Javier. And he tells him it's long. He proceeds to get Antonio Banderas, who is like the only saving grace of this movie because he's actually fucking charming. Goes on this very incredibly long kind of point. It basically just tells him his entire life story in one gigantic monologue. And Javier, and I almost said Javier Bardem. I fucking wish Javier Bardem was in this. And then Javier proceeds to just go, okay. And Antonio Banderas like, is that it? You got anything more to say? I was hoping we'd get friends. No. Okay. Want to be my foreman? Okay. And then it goes in that direction. And we never really get that clear of an idea why this Javier guy just hates Antonio Banderas. Because for what I can tell, it's for no fucking reason. We're not really given a reason except that he has like one minor issue with his story that he tells, and apparently that's a reason enough to just write him off forever. Even though, like, at the end of the day, he doesn't really do anything that bad, except have the hots for his wife, but to my knowledge, he doesn't do anything about it. He just has the hots for her. He doesn't make a move. He doesn't, like, he doesn't cause her to cheat on Javier. He doesn't do anything. He just likes his son, and he has the hots for his wife. That's it. They don't do anything with it. And the wife very clearly says, like, yeah, I don't feel the same way. But that apparently, by the way, everything I'm describing right now takes 40 minutes to get here. What could have taken at most 10. But no, we gotta go through 40 minutes of the little boy's origin story on the bus. And again, the minute they go this route, you know exactly where it's going. He's gonna grow up. He's gonna go to New York City, and he's gonna become the guy that meets up with the daughter of the woman he unintentionally killed because he distracted the bus driver. And then those two get married. But it takes us 45 minutes, at least, I'm being fucking generous, of this kind of boring telenovela, and it's playing this incredibly melodramatic, and again, it's it plays it like a telenovela, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's the way it plays it in the fucking movie, where it's all about this earnest farmhand and how he just wants to work the ground. He wants to get married to the pretty waitress, and then they get there, but then the owner wants to gets the hots for his wife. He wants to fuck her, and he also likes his son. He gets involved in his son's life, but Javier doesn't want him involved in his son's life, so he rejects his gifts. He rejects everything, and then there's a dramatic confrontation again, like 40 minutes in, where Javier goes, "Do you like my wife?" He goes, "Sorry, I'm a lonely man. A lonely man wants what he wants." And he goes, "You really did become your father." I'm not exaggerating. Fuck this movie. And then Javier again. Nothing has actually happened between Javier and between Antonio Banderas and his wife at this point. By the way, I really hope his name is Javier, because if it's not, I'm gonna feel really bad. Nothing's actually happened. Like, say what you will about the fact that Antonio Banderas has the hots for her. He keeps his distance. He makes it very clear he has no intentions of making a move. He offers to just go away several times. In fact, he does. When he says he does, he does. He goes away, and he doesn't bother them again until they need his help. And when they invite him back in, that's when he comes in. He's honestly really respectful, so there's really no reason for Javier to be as much of a jackass towards him. And then, just because they might fuck, Javier decides, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to abandon my son who has PTSD. I'm going to abandon him. I'm going to abandon my wife. I'm going to leave my entire life behind because the thought that you two might fuck at some point makes me an alcoholic, and I'm just going to say fuck this and go become a mechanic. That happens. And it's played really melodramatically, like it's some profound thing. It's not. It's really not. And then the wife gets cancer and dies after giving a really dramatic speech that I'm pretty sure I've read in a Pinterest board somewhere. And then, for all this close to an hour-long build-up for Rodriguez to meet Olivia Wilde's daughter, when they finally do, it cuts to their daughter, who turns out is the narrator of the whole movie. All that time, you build up her story, you build up his story. You think, okay, let's do this. Let's actually have them be in a relationship. Let's see how they help each other grow. Let's see how they help each other through grief. No, they just lived happily ever after. Love fixed everything. No, everything's fine. Everything's fucking fine. See, love fixes everything, doesn't it? Love, you don't have to deal with, actually working through grief or tragedy or pain, because love fixes fucking everything. And we don't actually show that, which is the most interesting thing in the fucking storyline, is learning how characters deal with that, how they grow, they become better. That's what a fucking romance movie should do. It's all about, you don't stop the movie just when the relationship starts. If you just cut, half these stories down, you could spend the entire third act of them actually developing as people and helping them become, actually show the relationship. But for some reason, we don't get any of that. It just cuts straight to the future, and we only see, in montages, with not even really a montage, just brief clips of them in the future, them in their future lives together. That's all we see of the relationship. All that build-up for fucking nothing. For all that fucking build-up for only maybe 2 likable characters, and that's fucking it. And then it just ends with some pretentious bullshit about the unreliable narrator crap, and then how it's I just remember when my life's got me on my knees, I just remember I'm my mother, I'm my mother's mother, I'm my father, father, and all this goddamn bullshit. This movie's full of shit. It's full of shit, and it's made by someone who clearly thought they're making something profound. And maybe I would have been more, forgiving of it if the director didn't come out like a pretentious twat in interviews in regards to critical reception movie. Now, I don't envy anyone who puts their heart and soul into a project only to have it shit on by everybody. But at the same time, when you make something this universally panned, don't blame the lack of diversity for critics. Blame the fact that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I think it's kind of the most insulting about this movie I think that's the most insulting thing about this movie, is the fact that when all is said and done, this movie doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about. It doesn't really know what love is. It doesn't know what healthy relationships are like. I don't even think it knows what grief is. And it doesn't know how to tell a good story. It thinks it does. But it's just insulting, pandering, pretentious, pompous. This is a movie made by a snobbish asshole. Alright, so that's my end of my rant on that movie. I'm gonna quickly go over trailers, because I just got home from, I haven't even gotten home yet. I just left the last day of house sitting in Gilroy, and I haven't been even home yet, and it's 9:30, and I'm really tired, and I just want to go to bed. So I'm just gonna go over trailer really quick so I can go home. I feel so fucking defeated after this. So the first trailer was for a movie that actually looked kind of interesting. I think it was like, I could not read the name because like the title was in this weird font. So I think it's called like Suspira. Yeah, Suspira. Where it's actually kind of like this this weird like possession in a ballerina place movie. And as far as like possession movies go, like I don't think I've seen one like this before, so it kind of caught my attention, and it definitely has a nice visual style that makes me very curious. Apparently it's a pre-existing property, so I don't know, maybe it'll be good. Apparently it's only 75% Rotten Tomato right now, so we'll see. I don't know, it comes down to Halloween, so maybe that'll be good. Bohemian Rhapsody, which I talked about before. Girl in the Spiderwebs, I talked about before. First Man, that's the one with Ryan Gosling as the Neil Armstrong, which had that ridiculous controversy a while back about, God forbid, they don't show the American flag being planted on the fucking moon, which, you know, is just stupid enough for everyone that wants to get upset about something to get upset about something. Looking at you, Fox News. But the movie itself looks good. I don't know what it says when Ryan Gosling looks like the most bland person in your trailer. But Ryan Gosling's been on a good streak with movies lately, so I'm willing to give him a chance on this. Then we got If Beale Street Could Talk. I forgot what this one was, but I want to say it was a comedy. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. If Beale Street Could Talk. I know it looked okay. Right! This is the movie from the guy who made Moonlight. That's right. Like, where this one, apparently it's about a woman who gets knocked up by a man who goes to prison shortly after conception, and now their whole family is trying to figure out how to deal with it. Definitely looks a little Oscar baity, but at the same time, Moonlight was also a very good movie and very worthy of the hype it got. Not want to say hype, but very worthy of the praise it got. And it definitely was a unique film, so I'm willing to bet this one might be unique too. Probably not in the same way. Obviously, it wouldn't really be unique if it was. But I'm willing to give it a chance. This movie I didn't really like, oh my god, I have to go see it, but like, okay, I'm curious. Then we got Star is Born, which I talked about before, and the last one I got was For Beautiful Boy, which is another trailer. I forgot what the fuck I was actually talking about. Right, that's the Steve Carell movie where his son's a drug addict. That one definitely looks Oscar baity. I really don't have much to say about the beyond that. So that's all I got, guys. Life itself sucks balls. There's a reason it flopped as hard as it did. I don't think anyone fucking saw this. There's only like 3 people in my theater when I saw it. But it's out of my hair now, so later this week, probably like tomorrow, I still gotta see The House of the Clock on the Walls. I also want to see the Anna Kendrick movie that's still out there that I missed last week. And And there's one more that I'm forgetting that's out. Oh, yeah. Assassination Nation is playing here that I want to go see that before it goes out of theaters, because the other one's going to drop out quick. Other than that, hope you enjoyed my ranting and yelling, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.